This case will haunt you. On Christmas Eve, 2 innocent people were gunned down on I-85, all because of one man's twisted sense of heroism. John Villarel's confession is cold, calculated, and downright disturbing. As we dive in, prepare for a story that exposes the darkest corners of human nature. Why did he do it? Let's find out.
Turn over. Because what I'm going to tell you is going to make your jaw drop, probably.
Well, hold on now.
All right, are we in audio record?
Yes, sir.
Good. I want a copy of it sent to my family, too. I'm not here for a question and answer session. I'm here to tell you what happened.
This is 22-year-old John Asher Ferrell Villarel, who unashamedly presented law enforcement with one of the most deranged, chilling, and downright strange murder confessions of all time. It was Christmas Eve 2014 when Anderson County Dispatch in South Carolina received a 911 call that opened the door to what became known as the I-85 Christmas Eve murder.
Anderson County 911, where's the patient emergency? Yes, we are on 85 South. Somebody's laying on the side of the road. They've been shot. Is he breathing, honey? Yes, he's breathing, but he's yelling for help.
Okay.
He's in a lot of pain. So there's 2 people here, both of them shot. 2 shots.
When paramedics arrived, they were met with a horrible sight. Laying in the dewy grass on the side of I-85 near the mile 16 marker, a man and a woman were splayed out in the grass. The man, soon identified as 44-year-old James Dobson, had been shot in the back of his head at close range. Shockingly, despite the bullet being lodged behind his eye, he was clinging to life when detectives arrived. En route to the hospital, he only managed to tell the paramedics one thing: "I was just trying to give him a ride." Tragically, 43-year-old Mary Fowler was in even worse shape. She was put on life support, but ultimately succumbed to her injuries later that day, passing away on Christmas Eve. Police hit the ground running on their investigation, but they were faced with dead end after dead end. Fowler and Dobson were close friends, but no one around them knew what their destination or plans had been the night of her murder. Police did know one thing, however. It seemed that stealing the car they were driving may have been the motive. At the time, Dobson had borrowed his mother's 2013 Hyundai Elantra, but it was nowhere in sight. Police put a bolo out on the car, and it didn't take very long for them to get a hit. On December 30th, Deputy Coward of the Anderson County Sheriff's Department noticed a white Hyundai Elantra parked in a neighborhood. The tags on the car didn't match the Hyundai, and when he ran the VIN, he instantly knew that he had found the person that they were looking for. That person was John Asher Ferrell Villarel. When detectives looked into the vehicle, they were met with a horrible scene. There was blood visible on the seats of the car, and it appeared as if the seat belts had been cut off to eliminate evidence. Inside, they also uncovered a .22 shell casing, a .380 handgun, 2 .22 handguns, and a .22 rifle. Homemade silencers were on each gun. Very quickly, Villarel was taken into custody.
They burn hot in here. Yeah. Well, John, or Jack, I'm sorry. We gotta go through this advisory.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Because we had a break in all this, and
Yep.
We'll make sure that everything's good.
We might as well start over. Because
Yep,
what I'm
you're
going to tell you is going to make your jaw drop, probably.
Well, hold on now.
Detectives know at this point that they're dealing with someone who displays narcissistic traits. Throughout the interrogation, he speaks in a callous, dramatic manner about human life and his actions, seemingly emulating poorly written supervillains.
All right, are we in audio record?
Yes, sir.
Good. I want a copy of it sent to my family, too. I'm not here for a question and answer session. I'm here to tell you what happened.
Wow.
Before I start, I want to tell you, there is no human being or group of human beings on the face of this planet that could ever instill fear in me. I've had a loaded gun put in my head. I've had my own gun put in my head by someone before, and it didn't put fear in me. But there is one person who I'm afraid of, and that's God. I can't stand before him in judgment day to deny something I did. And I don't give a damn about a lawyer. Because no lawyer can make it right before God.
Can you believe this guy? Villarel's sitting there bragging about his fearlessness like he's some action movie villain. It's chilling how he uses God to justify his actions, as if that erases the lives he destroyed. His narcissism is palpable, and it's hard not to feel rage listening to him. This isn't just a confession, it's a performance. Let's see how he describes the actual crime.
And I will tell you that it makes full power ammo out of the pistol sound like a staple gun. Okay, no one's going to hear it. And I know that that's a federal crime, 10 years in prison, etc. I understand that. Now, oh good, he can hear this too.
We're gonna try to refrain from calling Villarel a narcissist every 5 seconds, but just listen to the guy. It's clear that he's reveling in this moment of attention.
Anyway, so you pack your gear, get
Packed up, went over there. First thing I did, I didn't want to hurt anybody originally. I'm not that kind of guy.
I can see that.
And the first thing I did, I tried to find a car to hotwire. Because to be honest with you, I didn't want to have to hurt anyone, and frankly, I would have rather bring it back when I was done. And unfortunately, my mechanical genius isn't quite to that level. So the next thing I figured was, well, I could hitchhike and then try to commandeer the car. You know, hold him at gunpoint, tell him get out. Still didn't want to hurt him. They were rolling along down Fletcher Street, in fact, when I came across him. Had my pack on my back, my rain suit still on, cap on my head. And I asked him if they could take me to I-85. He said, not a chance. Then he changed his mind and said, do you have some gas money? I said, you know, how much do you want? $5. I said, okay, $5.
Who was in the car?
The man and the woman.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their names, don't really care, but I hope he survives, to be honest with you. I hope that since that day. Let me continue though. And I got in that car, and we started going, and they were as nice as anything. And then the man offered to take me to the Georgia line. He said he had the time to do it. So he'd do it for $25 in gas money. Reasonable enough. As we were driving down the road, I got to a point where I was ready to try to commandeer the car. And you know what? I told him I had to take a leak. Asked him to pull over. Classic move. They never suspected it. You know what? In the moment, I presumed the man was armed. As a result, I didn't try to commandeer the car, but I assumed, okay? I didn't even give him a chance to show a gun. I put 1 round right in the woman's head. Then I put 3 rounds right in his neck because I was trying to hit the head, but I was trying to shoot too quick because I wanted to get it done. Didn't really want to shoot him, didn't really want to do it, and I did it. You're sitting here directly in front of me, headrests in between. Well, first thing you do is tell yourself, don't think about it, don't feel. Because you can't do it if you think, because you know it's wrong. And you take aim, perfect aim, boom. 1 in the head with her. She slumps over. Before the man can react, I screwed over quick. Boom. I missed. I hit his neck. And the problem was, I twitched basically. I got rushed. So I hit twice more in the neck instead of once in the head, which is what I was trying to do once I had hit him. And I want that man's family and the woman's family to know I'm sorry for what I did and that I can never fix that or repay it.
Well,
anyway, let me continue, please.
Villarel is seemingly so excited to be telling his story that he wants no interruptions from law enforcement. Usually, officers nip controlling behavior like this in the bud, but since Villarel's telling them everything, they're happy to give him the floor.
So then I went over to the Love's station down the road on I-85, cleaned up the car a bit, because it was messy. Cut the seatbelts out because I couldn't get the blood off them. That's why the seatbelt clips were stuck into the things. I put that so that it wouldn't beep while I was driving.
I'm speechless. Villarel shot Mary and James without hesitation, all for a car he didn't even need. The way he describes it, like it's just a twitch, a reflex, is sickening. Mary Fowler died on Christmas Eve, and James is left with a bullet behind his eye. How do you process that kind of evil? It's not just the act, it's his casual tone, like he's recounting a bad day at work. Let's hear why he thought this was heroic.
Bought some gas, a couple road maps, continued on my way. I raced all the way down to Fitzgerald, Georgia, going about 80 to 90 miles an hour the whole way. And whenever I took a back road, just flicked down to running lights so I could use the markers on the road instead of being seen. I've never done that before. And as I was driving, I can't tell you how bad I felt for having shot someone who, frankly, not only did me no wrong, but actually did me a favor. I got down there. I pulled in to Karina's place at noon, right on the minute, because I purposely timed it with the clock on my GPS. I pulled in, and first thing I did, she came out, I told her to get her stuff and get in the car because we were leaving. I thought that that was okay to do because, in South Carolina, it's ages 17 you can leave home. Didn't realize in Georgia it's 18. You know, her mom comes out, tells me to get out. I should have just left. Instead, I started up a whole argument with her. She calls the sheriff on me. I argued with him for a while. Tried to tell him what the law was instead of listening to him about it, which was pretty stupid. Anyway, eventually he took down, he actually pulled his taser on me because I was getting so argumentative. He finally put it away when I finally cooperated. I can't blame him for doing that. I mean, he didn't know that I wasn't going to try to pop him. He didn't know I didn't have a weapon in my hand or anything like that.
Did you think about it?
No, because he's a cop. His dash cam's right there. Would have been on record. And frankly, I already had blood on my hands. I really didn't want more. And after I got done with the sheriff down there, and he took down my ID information and stuff, and I told Karina that I'd be back on the 20th, because then she'd be 18 and be legal. Wouldn't be having a problem with the law at that point. Not that I wasn't already. And then I left, and I drove straight back to that safe house, and in the process got myself a speeding ticket for going about 90 miles an hour in 45 zone. My lead foot didn't get me. I don't have a lead foot. I have a precise foot the same way as if I ride a moped or a motorcycle. I know exactly what I'm doing at all times.
Villarel has, surprisingly, told a fairly accurate story here. However, he has left out some details. When he arrived at Kay's house, he rung the doorbell and then ordered her to get her things and leave. In response, Kay's mother told him that he had 2 seconds to get off the porch before the police were called. After that, Villarel stalked back to her car, opened the door, and then looked over his shoulder at her, saying, quote, "We can do this the hard way or the easy way."
Christmas went by. Weekend went by. Over the weekend, Karina's mom started making plans to either send her off to Mexico or put her in a psych hospital. That's true. That happened. That's not mine to intervene, and I should have contacted authorities if anything. But once again, got into that mode where you think that you're the outlaw lawman, that you can do whatever you want as long as no one sees you. God sees everything. And so I told her that I'd be down there Tuesday night at midnight. The reason I packed up all those guns, by the way, you ever find that Bursa Thunder 380?
What's that?
Under the driver's seat. I wanted to look there. Now you'll look there, you'll find it. That's my personal defense weapon. I use hollow cavity bullets for a reason. Makes an impact like a 45 12-inch penetration at 10 feet. Tested on a ballistic gel and meat. Anyway, so now you know there were 4 guns, not 3. Okay? Had all my stuff locked, cocked, ready to rock as you found. Because frankly, I expected that when I got down to Karina's place again, I expected someone to pull a gun on me. Okay? And I expected at that point to go ahead and just whack everybody in there and try not to think about it. You still think about it. You still don't want to do it. I'm glad I didn't do it, because then I'd have 3 more bodies on me. 2's too many.
Were you going to whack Karina too?
No.
Oh.
I was trying to get her out. I was trying to rescue her.
Well, you said 3 bodies. That's what I was trying to...
Mother, stepfather, and older brother.
Okay.
The 3 adults. The 3 people who would actually be a threat to me if I tried to do an extraction. Okay? In terms of pulling somebody out, it's called a wet extraction because it's bloody. All right?
Villarel's obsession with being Karina's savior is delusional. He planned to kill her entire family just to rescue her. It's not love, it's control, wrapped in a warped sense of justice. The scariest part, he genuinely believes he's the good guy. This is what happens when someone blurs the line between reality and their own violent fantasies. Let's hear him try to explain himself further.
Like that. Okay, because of what they do. Drug dealers. Because of what they do, they ruin lives. Okay, two people, from what I read in the paper, the one guy's an out-of-work electrician. My gosh, he's already got it bad enough.
What about the 380 shell casing in the car?
Is a 380 shell case in the car? Don't know, because I didn't fire a 380. Because once I realized that I had hit him in the neck, I realized he might survive. I kept praying. And I kept praying for forgiveness. And the thing is, the Lord can't give forgiveness if you don't tell the truth. If you lie about it, you're going to hell.
Were you going to tell Ryan about it this morning?
I wasn't going to, and I couldn't.
Because it's been eating you up inside.
It does. You kill someone who didn't try to hurt you first, and it does.
I figured that's why you were at Ryan's this morning. You needed an outlet.
Yeah.
Well, what made you shoot him rather than just take the car out and go for him?
Because I thought he might have a weapon, and I assumed, like I said.
Yeah.
And in my head for the moment, okay, here's the thing. When you get what's called a fight or flight reflex, the blood flow to your frontal lobe of your brain cuts off, which means it takes out your ability to make rational decisions about consequences in the future. Okay? That's basic psychology right there. And that's exactly what happened. Okay? Because in that moment, you don't really think about it. Okay? You don't really keep a level head necessarily if you're not used to commandeering vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, that's the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
And so I just said to myself, I said, you know what? I said, I can't take the risk that he's got a gun. And you know what? I wish I had just pointed the gun and told him get out and taken that chance, because he'd still be okay and she'd still be okay. And I wish I'd never done any of it, frankly.
The detectives that he's speaking with are well aware of what's called fight or flight, considering that dealing with that is essentially their entire job. But they remain quiet to hear Villarel's full story and break down his personality without interfering.
The anonymous organization, I joined them for a reason. It's because I believe in truth, I believe in absolute justice, I believe in balance. Okay? I believe in cops who aren't corrupt, who don't take bribes. I believe in people who obey the law, who work a job. I believe in keeping drug dealers and stuff off the streets, okay? And then I go out there and I put bullets into people who I don't know a thing about. I have no cause to even hurt them.
Did they say anything?
As far as what? Other than just friendly general conversation and whatnot?
When you shot her, did he say anything?
I shot him before he could say anything.
Due to his lengthy and thorough confession for the murder of Mary Fowler and the attempted murder of James Dobson, he was sentenced to life in prison. At his trial, Dobson, who was still recovering, made a statement from his wheelchair.
I'd like to understand why did you do what you done? Why?
Villarel has struggled behind bars, being reprimanded in 2020 for disrespect, and in 2022 for possession of a cell phone, which lost him television privileges for a year, and
James Dobson's words hit like a punch to the gut. Why did you do what you done? That question lingers unanswered as Villarel sits in prison, still justifying his actions. Mary's life was stolen. James's forever changed. All for nothing. This case reminds us how fragile life is and how dangerous a twisted mind can be. Let's reflect on the victims and the pain left behind.